is something to celebrate because the family is welcoming a new member. However, it might not be the same for unplanned pregnancy, particularly teenage pregnancy.
那个时候12月发现没有来月经的时候，就其实是有一点猜到了的，会有一点好像来忐忑这样的心情。那时候才要18岁嘛，所以就不想生出来哦。
World Health Organizations define teenage pregnancy as pregnancy that occur among teenage girls aged between 15 to 19-year-old. The rising rate of teenage pregnancy is cause for concerns worldwide. According to World Health Organization, an estimated 21 million girls aged between 15 to 19 in developing countries become pregnant every year, and approximately 12 million of them give birth to children. In Malaysia, evidence shows that approximately 14 in every 1,000 underage Malaysian girls or 18,000 overall become pregnant each year. Out of this number, 25% of cases involve pregnancy before legal marriage. However, the actual figure could be higher given the lack of reporting and unsafe abortion.
But what we see, normally what you see, what you read, is only the tip of the iceberg because a lot of people will not report.
Teenage pregnancy rate is getting higher and higher, and even though we do not have the accurate number, because normally teenagers who are pregnant, they don't go to the hospital.
就其实发现的时候，那个时候是17岁的12月这样子吧。then 17岁要考 SPM 嘛 then 那个时候就读书这 then 就没有去注意太多 then 就做工的时候才发现那个月经不准那一些 then 才去看医生 then 才知道的咯。因为讲真的，过后这个我也是看戏才知道，女生是没有永远的安全期的嘛。我经期也不是说很稳定，但经期不稳定的女生就更加难讲嘛，所以就可能抱着不会一次就中的那种心态，说可能才会有这样的残局哦。
One thing I can be very sure of is could be the knowledge of their own sexuality on sex education is not there.
What I find is maybe the biology and the reproductive education is not sufficient because there is no interaction in the class. Teachers, they themselves are not being taught on how to handle questions or how to address sexuality questions that is being raised by students.
Sex education remains a taboo in our community and prevents many parents from talking about sex with their children.
You feel shy when you want to share with your parents or what, but you feel not really shy when you share it among your friends. In transition of getting from primary school to secondary school, they are quite blur, so they will ikut the senior lah. I said, senior said this, I say yes, because if not, they will not feel like they are involved in that particular, teenage community.
Free access to all kinds of content, including pornography on the internet, and influence of peer pressure are also the main reasons that contribute to teenage pregnancy.
我是没有担心他们不会讲，我是担心他们要讲骂我。其实我爸爸妈妈是离婚的 then 我是住跟我爸爸的 then 那个时候开始我就没回家，不是在客厅看戏就是进房间 then 也没有什么跟他们讲话，因为那时候我才18岁嘛 then 要去cleaning 那个 Jack 第一次是需要父母签名的。我一开始 Jack 的时候是跟他一起去 Jack 的then 过后他知道了，他也没有说不要这个孩子，这样后就这样子then 他就跟他妈妈讲 then 才一起去 Jack。 知道的时候，或是之前的时候，其实是有啦，因为才18岁就不想生出来哦。那时候 Jack 的时候已经有5到6个月了嘛，那个时候其实知道他的性别，但他其实已经开始在我肚子里面动了的。他就好像可能踢我还是用手哪一种那个时候就完全就不想多了咯。我妈妈嘞，其实她就来知道过后，她就问几句这样子，但过后他就来好像很坦然接受了我，可能是早有心理准备还是怎样，我不知道。能帮助我们的他也是尽量去帮助我这样子咯。我爸爸他也就讲我几句咯，然后他也是有讲都发生了，但不可能打掉还是什么嘛，但他也就这样子接受我咯。其实是有清醒咯，因为如果他们不接受的话，但虽然说讲我男朋友妈妈他接受，但是如果他们不接受的话，那就等于我儿子那边少一份爱这样子哦。我是希望他们能够接受，因为代表他们接受这一个孩子，接受他是他们的孙这样子哦。
那你其实当时候你最怕的东西是什么？
就是生他出来的时候要怎样养他咯，因为那时候才18岁嘛，就是金钱上的烦恼哦。时间我是有，体力我也有，就是没有金钱怕不能顾到他这样子咯。好像奶粉、尿布这些都是要钱嘛，他打针这些都需要钱嘛。这则是会的，这则是可能现在可能还不能说他喜欢什么就可能买给他什么这样子。最大的挑战我是觉得耐心刚开始好像觉得怕自己什么都不会做，因为有时他晚上不要睡觉的话，可以从10点哄到11点还是12点这样子哦。每天晚上可能哄到12点多一点，他才甘愿睡觉哦。顾着觉得其实也没有什么啦。个人觉得有了孩子过后，什么事就会以孩子为先哦。就好像因为18、19岁都是想要去买东西还是玩那些但现在有了孩子，当然是先买孩子的东西咯。反正什么事都是把孩子想在第一个。Miss 就是 Miss 18岁去可能去 club 还是去哪里玩归的时候可能就没有这样晚回咯，因为家里有小孩子嘛，就可能把做工还是读书移后一步哦。因为其实读书每个人都会讲，其实读书你只是要读的不迟嘛，可能顾了他上学的时候我再要去读，其实也是不迟嘛，迟可能就比别人大那几岁咯。虽然说现在是比较辛苦啦，但是等他长大了过后一切都好讲咯。都生下来了，讲后悔的话会好像在怪他。其实想想他现在其实也是有好的，就这一段时间比较辛苦，挺过去就没有事了。因为现在我们其实都是还有着他家人的帮忙那一些，我们才不会这样辛苦嘛。但是如果真的是自己一个人扛过来的话，当然会后悔哦，就真的是要好好去保护哦。
Sexual behaviors begins when we are young. Yeah, I mean, whether or not we will want to admit it or not. It's one of the biggest challenge for us to break the taboo, to normalize talking about sex and reproductive health and rights.
Sex education is totally a different thing. We're not telling them how to have sex. We are talking about respect, and respecting the rights of the other person. We try to reach out, to both boys and girls. We don't, not only just girls. When someone gets pregnant, it's not a one-person job.
For us, it began as young as 5. At 5, you start to be aware of your body. At different age, we teach them different things. We're teaching them about bad touch, good touch. We're teaching about the words, the language, because then you give them the correct tools. You need to give correct word to the reproductive part of our body. When the child experiences unsafe touch. They couldn't describe.
There is a common misconception that sex education is only about promoting sexual relationships and normalizing teenage sex. In fact, sex education covers a broad variety of topics and it is a lifetime learning.
How to clean up yourself? Where does menses come from? Is it okay to have 8 days of menses? Is it okay to have only a dot of menses? Again, this is reproductive health. And when it comes to issues of men, boys especially, one thing that in our community is size matters. Is it true size matters? These are the things that we need to have an open talk. But sex education, it must be different at a different age. And sex education doesn't stop, because when at the elderly age, then you start talking about menopause. What is premenopause, postmenopause, prostate cancer, enlargement prostate, So it doesn't stop. It starts when you're young, it continues until you're old.
Delivering a proper sex education to kids in rural areas might be more challenging due to lack of teaching resources, and rural communities are afraid to talk about sex.
When you go to rural area, not all of them are well known in English or in PM lah. So I have to use my local dialect, which is in Iban dialect. Sometimes it's a bit hard to convert some of the terms. Sometimes they call it for the woman's vagina or what, they call it bunga or what. I was like basically teaching them the simple thing is like which body part is private to you, which one is like you have to take care of your own safety, which part cannot be touched, which part can be touched.
讲真，我发生的时候，我还是有一瞬间很害怕，但谁都不想讲的。但过后也是幸好我的男朋友有在我身边。
早上我去做工，他就负责做家务啊，顾想想，然后等我放工回来，我就会帮忙照顾，给他做自己做好东西哦。
你觉得穿衣服跟换 diaper 哪一个比较难？
比较难啊，穿模特比较难，有时他不想一直翻来翻去。今天真的是比较乖的。
保险这些什么都是我出来，而且吃就是看我妈给一点奶粉，是我都把它处理了。
Raya is the lucky one who gets support from family emotionally and financially. Unfortunately, many teenage mothers are not accepted by the community and even their family.
Acceptance is very important because some of these girls, right, the family themselves would be the very people who will put them down, What has been done is done. All right, we don't want them to be further victimized. Sometimes when we say we are supporting them, then people will think that, oh, you encourage them to have sex, is it?
其实我是很不赞同，也很不支持在好像这一个年纪去怀孕啊，因为毕竟都还没有那个经济能力。但是如果真的是怀孕了没有办法的话，我觉得也是要看个人家庭啦。
The violent truth is, some teenage mothers are victims of rape and sexual abuse.
Another thing I say, we do not know how she became pregnant. I think we are very quick to judge any of the mothers.
But at that point of time, what goes through their mind? They are so traumatized. They do not know what to do. They might be trying to seek help, but where to get help? Will there be people out there to help?
When the community gives teenage mothers the cold shoulder, they would feel hopeless and fearful.
A woman was shocked to discover the body of a newborn baby boy in a women's toilet.
该蛋penemuan bayi di perhentian 住在150米外的18岁年轻女子。
A report showed that over 100 newborns are found abandoned in rivers, moors, toilet, and rubbish dumps annually in Malaysia. More than 60% of them end up dead, while many cases are not reported.
I think we should all empathize, because I don't think it's an easy thing to give something away. If it's very difficult even to give your clothing away, you know. What more something of your that came out from you?
If we are not a forgiving community, it will drive people to do things like that.
For the past years, Sarawak Women for Women Society has actively launched several programs and modules especially for children and teachers in primary and secondary schools. The children are being taught to respect others, while the teachers are being trained to handle child sexual abuse cases in school. The government needs to introduce comprehensive sexuality education in school and make it a compulsory subject in a syllabus starting from preschool, because education is the only tool for children to protect themselves and prevent teenage pregnancy.
I think by having honest conversation with students, and the honest conversation must start from a school environment where we need to create a conducive environment, educational, and that is non-judgmental, non-biased, and it must be accurate. Because I think we need to admit that everybody is curious about sex. It's part of our nature. We can allow our students to make informed choices when it comes to their reproductive health and also sexual health.
Communities have to pay more attention to the children around them, lend them a hand when they need help, so that they will not become the next victim of rape or sexual abuse.
Please believe the person who said something is wrong and please help me. Because normally, when it comes to a child will tell the truth.
In Malaysia, there are 3 baby hatches set up in Peninsular Malaysia. These are the places that provide refuge for teenage mothers as well as safe haven for abandoned babies. Fear, embarrassment is not a reason to kill innocent lives. Instead, the baby hatch is the second chance for a helpless teenage mother and a child.
There is always help out there. Please reach out to us. FRAM is again on our website. Please do call us, please email us, and we will be there for you, especially in giving you the correct information and also guiding you to where you can go to get help. Again, like I say, we are not alone. You are not alone. We are here.
So you have to understand that not everyone want to be in that situation. As a society, we have to help them to move on from the past mistake or whatsoever.
虽然说，怀孕10个月可能会有人在议论你，可能有人笑你还是怎样，生他的时候又痛，生完过后还要顾他们，还要喂奶那一些，其实这些都是很辛苦，但熬过来了，其实我觉得就没有什么事哦。发生了什么东西的话，就都已经发生了，但就不要去逃避，不要去后悔，不要去恐惧这一个孩子哦。能的话我们 try 去尝试接受他，去爱他这样子，因为其实会发现他生出来过后第一次看他走路，第一次看他翻身爬，其实那个时间时候其实很开心的呢。我就觉得如果别人再讲嫌弃他们都好，我觉得妈妈都应该把那一个属于孩子的爱都给他，因为其实孩子他没有做错，所以我觉得每一个妈妈其实都很伟大，我觉得我们都应该去尊重他们，去多给他们一些关爱，这样子不要去用有色眼镜去看他们。我觉得可能因为我的家庭，所以我就不想让这样的事情发生在我自己的家庭身上哦。他们做不到来一个好父母的榜样，但是我可以，我是想给我的孩子有一个完整的家，但我是希望我能做一个在他眼里我是一个合格的母亲。
希望每天都能快快乐乐然后想要看到香香不要这样快成长还是这样顽皮看怎么会然后
最重要 是一家人在一起的。